Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 16 of Crossbar podcast. This is Yaz.
This is Brian.
Ente.
This is AR7. Let's move on to some news in the football world. Marcus Rashford has been awarded an MBE for his efforts in helping end child food poverty in the UK during the COVID-19 pandemic. An MBE is an Order of the British Empire Award. It is the third highest ranking order of the British Empire, behind CBE, which is first, and then OBE. It stands for Member of the Order of the British Empire. Yazdanovic, I'll lob it over to you.
Even when you're in the the spotlight, you always have time to do other things. Like a lot of these players are literally doing so much. They have not that much time because they're always traveling. The fact that he's able to make time to still help out the community during like a pandemic, it's like I think that's pretty significant.
And I think it's an encouragement for other players or celebrities to do similar things.
In Spurs, when I was watching the documentary, they have like mandatory community service they have to do.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that in UMass too.
I think he when he was young, living obviously in England, in school, like his parents didn't make enough, so he had to get like free lunch at school, and because of the virus, they were gonna shut down that program. And he said, no, like that affected me, so I have to help out others, and that's why it hit close to home for him. So yeah, no, like Brian said, like hopefully encourages others to do the same. I didn't even know about these awards; it was kind of new to me. MBE sounds like a master in business. I didn't even know what these are. But yeah, big up to Rashford. That's pretty cool on his part.
What? Rashford to Barca soon.
Any final thoughts?
Ringer salute.
Ring a salute, yeah. Let's move on.
Hold on, I have a thought.
Oh, go ahead.
A couple years ago, I think it was Juan Mata who started the 1% challenge or something, right? Where footballers donated 1% of their salary to a charity of their choosing, something, right? Do you guys remember that?
I think I remember something.
I recall it.
Remember, a lot of players got involved, so it's good to see players do good things for the community.
Wait, actually, I just remember we forgot to introduce Amir.
We've already introduced him.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Mesut Ozil has offered to pay the salary of Arsenal mascot Gunnosaurus, who was let go by the club on Monday.
Sad.
Very sad. Do you guys hear about this? This was all over.
But he's being left out of Arsenal's Europa League squad, though. That's kind of a dick move by Arsenal.
Hey, why did they do it?
Like, wait, which topic do you want to talk about? Like, the mascot?
Yeah, the mascot.
They just realized like there's no fans, so you don't really need a mascot at the moment, and the club is on a really tight budget. But the same thing could be said for all other clubs. But yeah, they let him go, but they did say they were going to bring him back once fans were allowed back. Yeah, it's a nice touch on Ozil's part to do something like this. And I know they developed a little bit of a relationship. Like the person behind the suit, like I don't know who wears the suit, but they became friends, and he offered to pay salary as long as he's an Arsenal player. That's like the condition. And I don't know if they took him up on his offer, but yeah, that was all over social media.
Even in the Spurs one, the Kitman. Oh no, it wasn't the Kitman for Spurs. No, I think it was Man City. Yeah, it was Man City. The Man City documentary.
You watched it?
Yeah, I watched like some of it, and the Kitman, like he's like super good friends. Like you see a lot of people like who are just part of the squad, like not even like the players, just part throughout the organization, who are just super close to the players because they just spend so much time with them. Develop relationships.
Shout out to mascots. We need them. All right, let's move on. This one is a little off topic, but still relevant. Part owner of Liverpool, LeBron James, wins his fourth NBA championship and was named NBA Finals MVP. Lads, LeBron, Liverpool, championship, our owner, general thoughts, still in his prime. You can make comparisons to other players in this sport who are still in their prime. You know what I mean? How do you guys feel about that?
Well deserved.
Well deserved, yeah. So I was talking to Brian about this yesterday where LeBron has been in the league since 2003, and you can easily say he's been in his prime for like 15 years, right? So I thought, what player in world football has been in his prime for 15 plus years? And the only one I can really think, obviously, is Messi. Is there anyone else that comes close to Messi that you guys can think of?
Brian,
Ronaldo?
look at his face.
What the hell?
So yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, no, but that's incredible that obviously when you think of prime, you think of like 4 or 5 years maybe, right? But to think of 15 years,
Say active
let's
players,
let's say
only
10.
Messi and Ronaldo. Yeah. But like before, I would say like maybe Maldini, he was in his prime for a long time.
Sergio Ramos
I
has
don't know,
had a
I can't
pretty
pick
long
one.
career, I'd say. Like even now, he's still
Not talk about
good.
Ramos.
Like how long would you say his prime was, or is, if it's still in?
Even from when he was really young, he was on the Spanish team. He was even in Real Madrid. He was always like really good, and even now, he's still probably one of the best players in Real Madrid, I'd say.
I don't know. And you could say that a lot. Like Busquets, he's been super good for like 10 years.
Yeah, Busquets had a long
Even
career,
like
I'd say.
PK.
But recently, I'd say he dropped. But overall,
Yeah,
he's
he's
had a
been
pretty long career.
he was been pretty bad for the first couple of games. But like even PK, he's been super good.
The thing about LeBron is that he's been in his prime for 10, 15 years, but he's always been like top 2, top 3 for those 15 years. Maybe really the only two you can say is Messi, Ronaldo.
I mean, we can also say that in like other sports too, like Rafael Nadal.
Yeah.
I was
Roger
actually thinking
Federer,
him too, yeah.
Roger Federer,
Follow-up question.
Djokovic.
Oh, you have something to say?
Huh.
I was gonna say follow-up question. What current player do you think will follow that same path that will have a 10, 15-year prime where he's always top 1, top 2, top 3?
That's a tough one.
In any sport or in soccer, football?
Well, let's focus on soccer, but yeah, in any sport too.
I don't think
I
Really
think
hard.
Mbappe comes to mind right now.
I don't
Where
know.
like soon he could take off and be that guy, but there's still a lot of question marks around him.
it's not that easy. Like these players don't really come like every
These are what you would call generational
Yeah,
players.
Yeah.
they come every like couple over decades. So I mean, Mbappe I think has the potential to be one, but there's so many
Yeah.
question marks that come into like what happens if there's like a lot of injuries, throughout his career. Like that is a huge factor.
That's what happened to Neymar, I think, and like people thought he's gonna be in like the next Messi or Ronaldo, but obviously not.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing with Neymar is that when you think of Neymar, you always have like flopping attached to his name, and he can't like step out of that box because he
mean,
does it so
he-
much.
Same with Ronaldo, but he kind of stepped out of it. Kind of like he's been there for a long time. He's really good. I don't think Neymar flopping is the issue. I think he has other attitude problems also.
Yeah, yes. I add that to the list. That's just one of many things.
Also, the biggest part is being clutch, right? Like it's
I
able
would
to.
say Neymar
Yes.
can be clutch. But more
I
often
don't
than
think
not, he's
Neymar can be as clutch if he doesn't have someone else with him, like a Messi. Like I don't know.
Game changer.
I think Neymar is easily top 3 players right now.
I don't know.
Easily, I would say so.
Like if you have a final
In
tomorrow,
terms of pure ability, I would definitely put Neymar on my team.
but if you have a final tomorrow, are you picking Neymar?
Yes,
Or are you
he's a
putting
game
Messi
changer.
or Ronaldo
He can
up
be a
there?
game changer.
I know, but I'm saying if
I'm
you have a
putting
final
Messi, of
tomorrow,
course.
are you putting Messi or Ronaldo there?
Wait. You guys are
I'm
talking
going
about two
Messi,
different things.
Ronaldo, and Neymar. How about that?
Wait. One of you said pure ability, and the other one said like clutchness. Those are two different
Well, I'm
things. So
saying
you guys.
Neymar can be the clutch player because he's one of the best players in the world, and he
I
can
don't know.
change the game at any moment compared to some other guy.
But he didn't. In that final,
Okay, some players can do. I mean, he didn't play bad. He was still like one of PSG's better players.
but
I
that
would
wasn't a
say.
clutch player.
I mean, if you want to talk about like bad performances, like Messi has had those in clutch moments. Ronaldo has had those in clutch moments. Like, not everyone's consistent on clutch moments, you know. But we're talking about players who can be clutch, and I feel like Neymar can be in the conversation. Obviously, below Messi and Ronaldo, but
I think the clutch is what he misses. I don't think there's any like you say individual talent. I think Neymar has one of the highest individual talents there are in world football, but he's not a leader, nor is he fully a clutch player. I think he's kind of like a Pogba where like he wants to be one of the best in the world, but at the same time he doesn't have the ability, and he's incredible, but he has to be next to like a superstar. Like he's a superstar, but like one of the greats. You know what I mean?
Pogba is not even as good as Matic, man, right now. It sucks.
Well, a lot of the things that Brian said does apply to LeBron. Like, when it comes down to it, and like you need a win to advance or to just hold a trophy, like you need someone to score a basket. That's LeBron James. You know what I mean? Like to just put the team on your back, say, all right, we're gonna make it through. Um, Neymar has had those opportunities. Um, specifically in the World Cup, I remember 2018, like they were down against Belgium and they were really counting on him, and he did produce like big chances, but like when you really like Messi, Ronaldo, like you need them to in a big game, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna come through, or at least in their prime. Again, we're talking about in our prime. Neymar, like Amir said, can be. It's just has he been? No. So
I do.
it's like a
Think
fine line.
he's always doing better, especially at Barca when all the pressure was on Messi. Kind of Neymar was performing a lot better. I feel like in big matches. But since moving to PSG and becoming the main man, kind of, I don't know, maybe he can't handle the pressure. But he
That's
hasn't been as good in clutch moments, I guess.
Yeah, that's what we have for news in the football world right now. Let's move on to some transfer news. It's been a slow week just because much has already passed, but there's still a few that have gone under the radar. Mario Götze has signed for PSV Eindhoven. How do you guys feel about that?
A good move to kind of resurrect his career, kind of. We'll see.
I think it's a good move as well.
Yeah.
He's not that old.
I don't think so. He's probably
What's
like
he could do right now?
29, 30.
Yeah.
He hasn't been doing too well recently.
I still remember when he scored that
World Cup final.
World Cup final goal, and then he celebrated after holding the trophy. He had a boner. I'm sure you guys have seen that photo.
I think you're confusing. He was next in a pool party, I think.
Oh fuck! No, but I think also I'm pretty sure he was like had a boner like after the World Cup final. I swear to God, dude.
It was
But
like,
I know you're talking about. You know how like in Europe they wear like the speedos.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like a bulge. Good for him. Like he had like that Conor McGregor bulge. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, you think he can revive his career going to the
Hopefully, I mean, we'll
Dutch
see.
league?
I mean, if he stays injury free, I guess. Hopefully.
Yeah, injuries have been a big one.
Those players that never really lived up to his full potential, kind of like Royce, but that's partially because of his injuries as well.
I feel like it's a shame because he was so good at Dortmund before he left for Bayern. But Royce has always been like, even when he's not injured, Royce I feel like is super good still. But like Götze has kind of his footballing ability has declined. But Royce has been kind of like steady, like slower decline, I guess, compared to Goods.
Dude, Royce is gonna go down as like the Totti of
Yeah,
Dortmund.
I mean,
I don't think he'll go anywhere.
good for
Alvaro Morata to Atletico Madrid for 59 million pounds. Pjanic to Barca for 54.8 million pounds. Ben Chilwell to Chelsea for 50 million pounds. Werner to Chelsea for 47.5 million pounds. Thomas Partey to Arsenal for 45 million pounds, and Icardi to PSG for 45 million pounds. So those were the biggest moves. Which one of these comes to mind? Which one of these do you want to talk about?
I think the Timo
Biggest flops, biggest.
and the Thomas Partey. I think that those are it.
I want to say let's from this list, let's rank the top 3 deals. All right,
Top two.
top 2. All right, top
Actually,
2 for
top
me
3.
is easy.
Top three. Yeah.
All right, for me, number 1 is Partey to Arsenal. He's a really good player. It's a very good deal. 45 million. That's pretty cheap too, in my opinion. Next is Team Chelsea. He's also a very good player, very versatile. And the third one is kind of hard because
Wait, what was your second one? You
Havertz
lagged out there.
and Werner to
Oh,
Chelsea.
Frank Chelsea.
Werner. Timo Werner.
Werner.
It's Werner.
Yeah. And I'm not sure about the third one. You guys can go ahead, mention yours, I guess.
I'm gonna literally take the exact 2 that you have, and just add the third one. And I think Arthur could be really, really good for Juventus.
I'm gonna copy Brian. Yeah, I was gonna say Arthur too, because they got a nice young prospect.
Same too as Amir, but I'd say for the third one, probably the goalkeeper that Chelsea bought. They really need him, so I think he's going to be something.
Mendy, yeah. What about in terms of flop or just not living up to potential? Which one of these do you think stands out the most?
Arthur
Morata is so expensive.
I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on that.
Arthur, I think he's a good player, and I think he adds a little more movement, a lot more youth.
Or Havertz to Chelsea. These two, I'm not sure.
Well, that's the thing. It's like we don't really know if he's going to be a flop or not. So far, he hasn't really been doing well.
Well, Brian, that's the whole point. We're predicting.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess for the price tag, Havertz definitely. I think he's a good player. I don't know if he's worth 72 million though.
Yeah.
That's a big question mark, right? So I'd say him.
Honestly, don't know much about the guy who went to Napoli, so I can't really talk about him because I hadn't even heard of him before he went to Napoli.
I'd say
But like
Pjanic. I don't. How has Pjanic been performing? You're the Barca.
I think he's a really good player, but for 55 million for a 30-year-old guy, I don't think it was worth it. But as a player, like he's really good. He's gonna be in the starting lineup soon, but like I don't see why.
Yeah, I think him. I don't know how Morata would do. I think he potentially might do
Morata, man.
How are people buying him for so much money, like time after time?
Yeah,
it's worth any
it's like
time, anywhere near 50. Yeah, like he's never been consistent enough.
I'd say those are my 3 that I'm like a little iffy about and have concerns. I will say Chilwell though is doing really well so far. I know he's had a big price tag, but I think that should be successful.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to add one that's kind of a sleeper. Ruben Diaz. I like the guy. I really like the guy, but just the fact that he's a defensive signing, you know how Man City are with defensive signings. They don't really hit the mark on those. So maybe this might be something like that. Plus, they already bought a Portuguese defensive signing in Cancelo, and he didn't pan out, although he's really good. So, Ruben Diaz has a question mark around his name for me. Not I'm saying he's gonna flop, but one to keep an eye on. And then of course Havertz.
Adrian, who's the new Man City center back?
That's what we're talking about.
That's what Ruben Diaz.
No, there's another one. There's another one.
Nathan Ake, you mean?
Ake, yeah. I feel like he might potentially flop.
No, I think he's gonna do well because he's used to the Premier League. He's a pretty good defender, so I feel like he's gonna do well.
Their defense hasn't gotten
Not sure
better
about
though.
the
Since he's performing.
I watched a couple Man City games. He was really good. Even like the one they lost 5-2, none of the goals, like almost none of the goals were none of them were his fault. So I think Ake's gonna do well. We'll see.
You shall.
The Kai Havertz, just I've said this before, I'll say it again. Like, what can he do that Mason Mount can't do? Like, I don't understand that. Why they had to pay so much for? They already have Mason, and Mason can do what he can do for far less. You know what I mean? He's a homegrown player, so I don't know. I feel like that
personally
one.
haven't watched him that much, so I couldn't tell you.
I would agree though. He hasn't. I don't know. He just doesn't have that it for me.
Didn't he score a hat trick in a League Cup game though?
It was like a meaningless game though. It was one of those like you're supposed to score a hat trick.
It's better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah, those are the ones that stick out. And then no one has really mentioned Icardi. How do you guys feel about Icardi to PSG?
I think in the league of France, the league when he does pretty well, but I guess those aren't really against crazy teams. But I think it was the Champions League semifinal. He just flopped. Like Neymar didn't even want to pass the ball to him.
That's the thing. He's the type of player. He's a one-touch player. Like he has like 10 touches a game, and like one of them may be a goal. He doesn't get involved in the actual game that much. He's just a poacher kind of. So I don't know. I don't think PSG needs that. I think they need another type of player. I feel like Cavani was like a good player for PSG, but I don't know about Icardi. We'll see. Not a big fan.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add, or we can move on to some topics. First topic is rate/rank these relatively inexperienced managers. We have Frank Lampard, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Mikel Arteta. Now, the reason why I say rank/rate is because we can rate them, or we can rank them 1, 2, 3, or we can do both.
Let's just do rank.
Rank?
It's easier, yeah.
Okay, who wants to go first?
All right, we have Lampard, Solskjaer, Arteta, right? I'd say Arteta, Lampard, Solskjaer.
I feel like it's the easiest question
Yeah.
ever, honestly.
Fuck.
That's the answer.
It was so easy.
All right, next one.
I feel like Arteta's here, Lampard's here, Solskjaer's like.
Dude,
You ever see him on the
way
spinning
down.
room?
I agree.
Oh shit!
I thought maybe Brian would say Lampard just because Brian loves Chelsea, but no.
I
Fuck.
respect Arteta. I think Arsenal in a couple of years could like become like a really, really, really strong team.
Yeah.
It's just about putting the right pieces to work.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, so let's move on to the other one. Actually, how about we just do the second one? The second one's pretty good too. Let's do name a player/players at your club. Doesn't have to be at your club or any club that you can think of in recent history that never lived up to your expectations.
Like last decade, recent history. Should we do last decade?
Let's do last decade, sure. Yeah, make of it what you will. You can do last decade. And we'll give you like a minute or two to think about it.
For Man U,
Where should I start? Yeah.
I have one for Man U that hits home for me.
Yep.
You guys go first. I'll go.
There's so many options for Barcelona.
No, wait. Let's think.
Real Madrid hasn't made that many new signings. I mean, I think Jovic is probably our biggest flaw.
In recent history, so like let's say 4, 5, 6, 7 years, or since you've started following the team.
Interesting.
How about you say one for your club, and then one for any other club? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay, I'll go first. For my club, to be honest, first of all, Arsenal don't really spend, so like, So it's kind of hard to think of a player. Only recently have they really started spending, and I'll just say Nicolas Pepe, just because I can't think of anyone like.
Oh, you say he's a flop?
Whoa.
Whoa! You didn't read the question correctly, Brian. You didn't read the question correctly.
That's still like.
Wait, what about Ozil?
If he didn't live up to expectations, yeah, that's kind of a flop, no?
No. Your expectations, my expectations.
That's kind of a flop. So you're saying
No. Don't turn the words on me, Brian. So I'm just gonna say Pepe, just because I was so happy when he joined the team, and I was so anxious, and then it's kind of like a learning curve, right? Because I expected him to come in and be PFA Player of the Year like right away. That just doesn't happen, right? Unless you're James Rodriguez, but that just doesn't happen. So I have to understand that he is not going to score 15 goals, 15 assists first season. It takes time. So my expectations were set way too high for him, and that's mostly my fault. But at the same time, he does need to step up a little bit more. He showed some signs last season, and I think he can do better this season. So that's the one for my club. For another club, I'll say it after you guys say your first round of players. So who wants to go next?
But Pepe did dribble past Van Dijk though, so
He did.
I know you were pretty happy about that.
That's actually in his trophy cabinet. Thank God we don't have any Spurs players on this podcast, because Spurs fans.
That would have been off. Who wants to go next?
Who wants to go next? You guys can do nose game. Oh, Amir. Okay, Amir's next.
For Barca, there's so many to choose from.
So many.
I'm gonna do a sleeper here. I'm gonna say Semedo.
Okay.
Because I thought he was gonna be so much better than he was. He's one of the worst footballers I've seen. He has very good technical skills, but he's so stupid. Very stupid.
Dude, you used to love him.
Offense, Semedo. No offense.
Dude, he's watching this. Watch out.
But I think he just has such low footballing IQ. Unless all the managers we had were shite, but like you should do something by yourself. I mean, he didn't do anything, so I'm gonna say. I mean, there's so many to choose from, but I'm gonna choose Semedo because I was expecting a lot of good things from him.
Right. I'll do next because I'm gonna still choose Jovic. He hasn't been there that long, but every time I look at him, he doesn't do anything. He just takes up space, and sometimes his most effective thing to do is take marking from Benzema, so Benzema can move into better space. But other than that, he doesn't do anything. Like Barca kind of dodged the bullet, to be honest.
We did.
I would say, again, there's so many players.
So many, dude. So many.
The number of players who fucked up is more than number of players who actually did well. But Maguire, I would choose. I want to say Pogba but Pogba did have a few good seasons. But Maguire, he spent.
Di Maria, dude. He was pretty good.
Yeah, Di Maria's up there.
That's a little long. I would say like Falcao too, but that's a little older. But for like recent, I would say Maguire, because I still don't know why they spent so much money on him, and like even the fans like knew that it's not gonna be a world class. Like they could pay like 2 more millions and buy Koulibaly, and they didn't want to do it.
Good point.
So if I want to choose one, I would say Maguire.
Interesting.
Fair, that's fair. All right, now let's do a round of players from other teams. That doesn't have to be your team.
Any team?
Any team, yeah. Obviously in world football. Who wants to go first? No game. Oh, Mir.
No, my internet is behind. Come on. I have to delay.
All right, I'll go first. I'll go first. This one is super random, but when I first started following like football in like 2014-15, I was really big on Julian Draxler. I watched the Bundesliga once in a while,
Okay.
And when he was at Schalke, and I think also Wolfsburg. Oh no, it was at Werder Bremen. One of those.
No, it was
He-
Wolfsburg.
It was Wolfsburg. Okay,
Yeah,
he was so fucking good, man.
yeah, he's so
And
slick.
his dribbling was insane. I'm like, and the skinny white kid kind of reminds me of Havertz in a way, but Havertz doesn't have his like dribbling skills. I'm like, damn, this kid fucks. And he was on the World Cup team. That won the obviously they won the World Cup. And then he made his move to PSG, and he kind of just fell under the radar. He just didn't really pan out. So that was kind of disappointing because I kind of like that. Like this kid's gonna be good, and nah, didn't win. So that's just one. I can think of more, but that's the one that for me didn't.
I think, I mean, I have like three. One of them could be really controversial. I think maybe two. One, you won't. Bakayoko, do you remember him?
Timu Bakayoko.
Yeah, you remember he went to Chelsea? Now he's in AC Milan.
Uh-huh.
A huge flop. I'd say, oh, no, okay, yeah, he's a flop. Expectations was, huh?
Did you have like personal expectations for him?
I thought he was going to do really well at Chelsea. Like, he came off Monaco, like, really, really strong. So, I'd say, I mean, Griezmann hasn't really lived up to expectations, I'd say. I was actually kind of scared when he moved to Barca. I was like, damn, Griezmann, Messi, that's going to be a scary partnership to go against for the Clasico. Honestly, not really. I'm kind of happy. Also, Neymar, I don't think he's lived up to what PSG bought him for, to be honest.
Okay.
I have
So wait, time out, Brian. Hold on a second. So you're saying, Brian, at one point in time you were scared of Barca? Is that what you're saying?
Oh,
Well, Brian, never reveal your cards. Dude, you have to show
exposed.
poker face.
Scared.
You said scared. You said scared.
That could be a scary partnership.
No, you have to keep calm, composed. You can't reveal your cards, Brian.
That could be a scary partnership. But it
Brian
turns
wants to take that
out
back.
it's not that scary.
Okay, Yaz and Amir, who wants to go?
I'll go. I would say Kepa. I
Oh
think
yeah,
that's like the
Mm.
biggest. Uh, he's just shite, and Chelsea knew it. They just had so much money. They bought him, and I'm sure they regretted it. And I would say him. For another one, I might say Bale. Same thing for him.
Mhm.
If I can only choose one, I say Kepa.
Oh wait, no.
Bale sucks ass.
Bale, bro. Bale delivered championships, bro. That's that. So I guess.
Yeah. Wow, sucking ass.
But he still delivered championships. Like, yes, he was injured for.
Yeah, Chelsea won the Europa League with Kepa in the goal. If you can say that. Like,
I mean, Europa League isn't Champions League. I'm sorry. I understand what you mean though, but I will say Bale did deliver championships, and that's what he was brought in for, right?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Our producer is out of the room.
Oh, what's up?
Oh, producer is back.
Yeah, so Bale sucks ass. Where's that where we left off?
All right, so I guess I'll go. I guess for me, number one has to be Pogba. Because I think he's still a very good player, but he just never come to fruition in Man U, which is a shame. He's such a sick player. He has all the ability in the world, but he just, I don't know.
who?
Pogba.
Hmm.
I got two more.
Two.
One more actually. I'm gonna say Thomas Lemar, Monaco to Atletico Madrid. He was pretty good for Monaco, but he flopped at Atletico.
We have a fan.
Can you guys shut up your dogs? The fuck, dude? That's disrespectful as shit. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Shut the fuck up.
Poor dog, man.
Yo, Amir, I finished Breaking Bad.
You did? Holy shit. That's
Show.
weird. Good show? Just a good show?
The ending was a little too fictional, but yeah, good show.
The fuck you talking about, man?
It was a little.
That's as realistic in that setting it could have gotten, I guess. If they wanted to do the thing they did, that was probably the best way. But it was kind of, yeah, I guess it was kind of fucking weird, but still a very good show.
It was.
Best show ever.
I might watch The Wire afterwards since it's a little like, but
Interesting.
we'll see.
I will probably want to watch that soon.
Yeah. So, who you said? Pogba.
Pogba and Lamar.
Yeah.
Pogba and Lamar. And now I'm just gonna throw in Falcao, man.
Which
Wait, which one for Man U?
Oh, come on, guys. That's disrespectful, dude. Can you just cut that part out?
Chelsea, you know.
Oh, dude, I forgot about Chelsea, actually. No, the one that comes to mind is obviously Man U. Because that was like a big move, obviously. But he wasn't fully healed, so it was kind of a stupid transfer from Man U in that respect. Yeah, no, like obviously I was excited. He didn't make the World Cup, but right after, I think it was either before or after the World Cup, he had signed with Man U. I'm like, that's fucking sick, because I had just started following the Prem. So I said this to Yaz before, like I wanted to be a Man U fan for the longest time, but they never gave me a reason to be fans for them. You know what I mean? Like they had Depay, they had Di Maria, they had like Daley Blind. They just had these weird players that didn't fit together, and they had like Van Gaal. And I wanted to be a Man U fan so bad, but I just couldn't. Like I couldn't fall in love with the team.
They even had Schweinsteiger at one point.
Yeah, they had Schweinsteiger.
That was probably the biggest
So
respect.
weird signing.
And it was like towards Rooney, like the end of Rooney. And it was just a weird time to be in
Fellaini,
Man.
dude, what a legend.
Well, he low-key did work for Man U.
So yeah,
I'm
Falcao to Man U is the one, and then he went to Chelsea, but that's a different story. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add? No? Okay.
One of the biggest ones.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, and then this is an interesting one here. Who are some overlooked players in your respective league that people should know about? So when I say your respective league, obviously La Liga for you guys, the Prem over here for Amir. I mean for Yaz and me and I. Give you guys a few minutes to think.
I already got mine prepared. I prepared ahead of time.
Right, but like literally no one asked. Some players that in your league, so for us it'd be the Prem, that are overlooked and are like low key like underrated, and people should know more about them. In the league, like just the 20 teams. Do you know what I mean? I'll give you guys a second to think. So most overlooked players, Amir, who do you have on your list?
In the league, I gotta go number one. I don't know if he's that overlooked, but Mikel Oyarzabal from Real Sociedad. He actually scored a goal, I think. But he's a super good player. I'm surprised he's still at Sociedad. I expected a good team to get him, but he's a very good player. That's one. For the second one, I'm gonna do Lucas Ocampos from Sevilla. He's like 26 now, I think. He's also very good, very important player for Sevilla. He's been doing super well. Last one is Marco Correa from Getafe, former Barca player, left midfielder, very good.
Wait, what's his name?
The
Cucurella?
third one,
Yeah,
Mark
Cucurella.
Cucurella, yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy. Okay, he wasn't from A-Bar. He was from.
Wait, no long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking nasty. I hate facing him in Real Madrid.
Yeah,
Wait,
he
Who
fucked
who was
Madrid.
your second one? The one from Sevilla.
Lucas Ocampos.
Oh, the Argentine. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was on Marseille. That was a good list. We'll say that was a good list. Since we're in La Liga, we might as well stick with La Liga. Brian.
Honestly, I was gonna kind of echo two of those. Cucurella and Ocampos. I had Ocampos in my list, and Cucurella was the one I was looking for. I was like, it starts with a C, something like that. But no, I really hate facing him. He's a player I really don't like to face.
Played really well versus Real Madrid last year. I remember I watched it.
Yeah, he always causes us trouble.
Dude, I can't believe Barca just let him go. They just let him go for basically free, very cheap.
Yeah.
I don't
There's
know why.
there's also one player on Villarreal. I think he's a Nigerian. He's a winger. I think his name is like I don't know. He's so fast.
Let me look it up. Villarreal.
Yeah. They were all yellow, right? I think it's
Yeah.
Nigerian winger. I think his name's like Usebe or something like that.
Oh, is it
Chukwueze, something like that.
Chukwueze? Yeah.
Chukwueze. Yeah, he's pretty good. And then there's also Alexander Isak on Sociedad.
Yeah. Sociedad, yeah.
He's pretty good too. I think he's a striker.
Got a bright future. Yeah.
We were talking about Kubo as well. He's kind of like known, kind of unknown.
True.
I think his future is really, really bright. Like
super neat player.
His dribbling ability is up there, to be honest.
Yeah, do you want to go? Or should I go? Doesn't matter.
I have two.
Okay.
First one I would say is Bissouma. I don't know if you guys know him. He's
pretty good.
Yeah. He's a midfielder. He's really good. He's also pretty young. And for my second option, he's kind of known, Grealish in Aston Villa. I don't think he gets that much of attention, but he's a really good player.
Very solid player.
Yeah. Jack Grealish. I think he got called up for the national team too.
Yeah, he did.
Southgate, I think, hates him because he never plays him for some reason. He does so well for Aston Villa.
Yeah, that's a good list. I actually had another player. I had Basuma on my list too. But sticking with Brighton, there's a player named Solly March. He's a left winger, and he is very, very, very left-footed, but he's really good just taking players one-on-one. He's a white kid. I don't know where he's from. He's like a low-key player, and like for a player that relatively unknown, he can really take a player and just destroy him, and put dangerous crosses in the box. That's one player. There's this player on Leeds called Helder Costa. He's Portuguese. He has like the braids or the dreads. He's black. He's like a really good squad player. And then there's also Trezeguet. He's Egyptian on Aston Villa. He's good, but sometimes he I don't know how to say it in English, but he just too much energy, and it comes back he gets too excited when he plays and when he's moving along, and he what's the fucking word for it? He gets carried away, I guess you could say, and sometimes it hurts the team, but he's a really good squad player. And then the final one I had was Diogo Jota. He was on Wolverhampton and he's now on Liverpool, but he was a really, really key player for them when he was on Wolverhampton, when they pushed for top 6 or wherever they finished. I had him on that list too.
A good player.
Yeah, I really like him. Any other players?
I do for the Liga, maybe Fekir, maybe. I mean, he's pretty well known, but he's super good.
I think it was Brighton's right back, the short guy. Is he?
Oh, the former Chelsea guy.
Oh, Lamptey,
I
Terry
forgot his
Lamptey.
name.
Yeah,
Lamptey,
that's
yeah,
a good
he's
one.
so good.
That's a good one.
Pretty good player. Yeah.
That is a
Super
really
good.
good one. He could potentially go down on that list of players that Chelsea regret letting go. Um, yeah. So, you guys have it in you to do a Champions League debate, or should we just do predictions and call it up?
Let me add another mini question here.
Go ahead.
It's gonna be a short one, but it's gonna be another rank. All right. It's gonna be rank these 4 Madrid players. All right. It's gonna be Kubo, Rodrigo, Vinicius, and Odegaard. Rank in terms of current ability and in terms of potential.
Like 2 separate ranks, or we
Two
combine
separate
those
ranks.
2 into
2
one rank.
separate ranks. I feel like it because like Odegaard is super good right now, but I feel like Vinicius probably has a higher ceiling. Like those.
Wait, can you name the 4 again?
Kubo, Vinicius, Rodrigo. I mean, you can you don't have to put Odegaard because he's kind of a different position, but you can put him too if you want.
I'll put him, I guess. I guess the current ability, I'd say Odegaard is probably the most polished player.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
He has the most
I
experience.
thought he said no Odegaard, just Kubo, Vinicius, and Rodrigo.
No,
it
I'll
depends
put
on you.
Odegaard in there 'cause he's still pretty young.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'd say Vinicius second, Rodrigo, and Kubo. And
This is in
then
terms of current ability.
yeah, and then for potential, this is kind of a hard one because I feel like Kubo. I haven't seen enough from Kubo, but Kubo could be a really, really good player. So I still think Vinicius has the highest ceiling. I think Odegaard still could potentially be second. Kubo might be third, and Rodrigo might be fourth. But I don't know. It could go either way, to be honest.
That's a good one. I'll just do the one of in terms of potential.
Yeah,
I definitely have Vinicius number 1 because the flashes that he's shown already at his age, like if he can do that consistently, and we've said this many times, if he can do that consistently, then boom, Real Madrid hit it with a really good signing, you know. And then the other 2 are Kubo and who was the other one? Rodrigo.
Rodrigo, yeah.
From what I've seen, what was that Champions League game that Rodrigo started and he was destroying? Oh, the one against Man City. They started Rodrigo and he was embarrassing João Cancelo on the left. Like it was bullying him almost. So that was the game that he introduced himself to me because I didn't really know much about him, but I knew like he's a serious player, and he can really like control the game if you really wanted to. But Vinicius does it a little bit more, you know. And then Odegaard is like a playmaker creator, and those are really, really. Ooh, this is a tough question, man. I'll put Kubo last because I don't know much about him, and then Odegaard third. No. Odegaard second, and then let's put Rodrigo third.
I think they should loan out Rodrigo, in my opinion, because I think he needs.
Yeah, I agree.
I always think so too.
Real Madrid. I think he's a really good player, but he needs to grab consistency. I think Rodrigo doesn't do. He can do some fancy stuff, but he doesn't do as much fancy stuff as Vinicius, and that's why he doesn't get called upon as much. But Rodrigo, what he does is he's a better shooter, and he's very composed, you know. But he doesn't give you anything out of the ordinary like Vinicius. If that makes sense. Like Vinicius can really go at you one-on-one and break you down. And if you really don't, if you don't grab his first touch, like with his first touch, he can launch the ball a little further out of you, and you're not catching him. It's almost impossible. So I don't know. It's consistency with him too as well. But I think Rodrigo should be loaned out. I think Rodrigo has really good potential, especially with shooting. He's very composed. In crossing, he's good crossing.
Interesting. For potential, I'm gonna go Vinicius #1, just because he's younger than Odegaard. But I think Odegaard is gonna end up becoming the better player. But then Odegaard, then Kubo, then Rodrigo.
I would doubt
Kubo is Kubo's dribbling
So
ability is
Yeah.
kind of scary, to be honest.
He's kind of like a slick dribble. He's like Messi type of dribble, but Vinicius is kind of like Neymar. You know, he just uses his pace and his skill moves and stuff.
Yeah,
I
think
I like Kubo's style more. Like
Kubo can maneuver himself around players like Messi.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, he's that type of player.
Yeah, that has been episode 16, is it? Yes. Brian, what can the fans do to this video?
Comment, like, and subscribe.
And Yazdanovic, what is our upload schedule looking like?
Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
He does seem so excited. and where can they follow us on social media?
@Crossbar Podcast on Insta.
Yep. That has been episode 16.